Education and taxes top the agenda for the state of Indiana. Good evening and welcome to NewsCenter. I'm Melissa Cordial.
And I'm John Ratliff. Tonight, Frank O'Bannon delivered his sixth State of the State address to Indiana. He gave his warning that the budget must be balanced in order for children of the state to have a better education. O'Bannon began his address with an overview of how and why Indiana is in its current economic state. Along with the results of the September 11th attacks how it affected our state, the governor honored those Hoosiers that not only lost their lives in the attacks, but also aided in the relief efforts at Ground Zero. He took no time in getting to the issues many were expecting, taxes and education. Well, Governor O'Bannon also warned that the budget cannot be cut without affecting schools and universities throughout the state, but declared that we cannot stop, slow down, or wait to begin making changes.
We have more information for you about the New York shootings tonight.
NewsCenter's Jason Luzak joins us live at the news desk with more.
Jason, do we know what prompted these shootings?
Melissa and John, police are now saying today's shootings might have been gang-related. It occurred today at around 2 o'clock at Martin Luther King Junior High School in Manhattan. Two students, a 17-year-old and an 18-year-old, were shot. Their injuries are not life-threatening. A male suspect had been taken into custody after the shooting, but police say he is not believed to be the shooter, and they say the suspect remains at large. CNN is reporting the suspect is a student of the high school and may have slipped into the building through a side door. While the motivation for the attack is unknown, it is significant to note that today marks the 73rd anniversary of Martin Luther King's birthday. We spoke with students on the Ball State campus to see what they thought could have motivated school shootings.
I have really odd reasons why they do things like this, and I really don't think it's racially motivated.
I think it can be for a lot of motivations. Like this one, if it is racially motivated, it would just be ignorance and people not really being aware of other people's rights and not respecting the other people.
John and Melissa will, of course, be closely following this story and have more as it becomes available.
Now, Jason, has the school ever had problems with security in the past?
Well, Harold Levy, Chancellor of City Schools, says the school has had problems with security, but its doors are usually locked.
That's good to know. Thanks, Jason. And a group of U.S. senators visiting Pakistan praised the country's efforts to stamp out terrorism. Maury Super is expected from Secretary of State Colin Powell. Tom Mintier has more from Pakistan.
Fire in the multi-story high-rise began just after dark, and the fire burned out of control for more than 5 hours. Islamabad's fire department put everything they had, but it was limited. They only had one aerial snorkel, and it didn't reach anywhere near the fire's beginning point on the 13th floor. But they did bring in Air Force, the Army, and every other firefighting equipment they had, but still unable to control it. Police and fire officials say there were no injuries in the fire. They say that the building was unoccupied. It did house 3 different ministries from the Pakistani government: the Ministry of Science and Technology, the Ministry of Education, and old records from the Ministry of Interior. While fire officials are looking at a short circuit, they're not ready to rule anything out, saying it's quite possible they'll be looking at the possibility of terrorism being involved, but not ready yet to say if that might have been the cause. The fire comes on the eve of the visit of U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell, who was scheduled to arrive in Islamabad a full 12 to 18 hours after this fire would be put out. Visitors to the fire scene outnumbered the firefighters. There were reportedly at least 1,000 people on hand to watch this fire and just over 100 to fight it. Tom Mintier, CNN, Islamabad, Pakistan.
An elderly Jewish settler was shot and killed in Bethlehem earlier today after a suspected Palestinian gunman attacked the entrance of a Jewish settlement near the West Bank town of Ramallah. An Israeli army official blamed Yasser Arafat's Fatah movement for the killing. Security officials in Israel say an Israeli woman has also been killed in a drive-by shooting.
The American Taliban fighter John Walker is going to be tried in a U.S. civilian court. Attorney General John Ashcroft says that it is Walker is convicted of charges against him, he could face life imprisonment. Walker faces 4 federal criminal counts, including charges of providing material support for terrorists. He has been in the custody of the U.S. military since his capture in early December. This military is now handing him over to the FBI.
Top military brass turned out for the first U.S. award ceremony for service in Afghanistan. The event at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, included the presentation of Bronze Star Awards and Purple Heart medals to Army and Air Force Special Operation troops. Some of the honorees fought at the crossroads town of Mazar-e-Sharif in Afghanistan. Others were recognized for special achievement in defeating Taliban forces in fighting for the airport in Kandahar. Soldiers who sustained wounds in combat received the Purple Heart Medal.
It's nice to see that done for those that help us out over there.
That's really nice. And Nicholas Ferreri joins us now with a look at our first forecast. What's coming up, Nick?
Well, it will be a taste of reality because we were so warm yesterday, but we were pretty much back to normal yesterday. And for tonight, cloudy skies, a low of 26 degrees.
All right. Thanks, Nick.
I'm not looking forward to that, but thank you. Yes, thank you. And Houston, Texas was the home of Enron and is now feeling the effects of the company's financial troubles.
The energy giant has been a major contributor to the community projects. With Enron's wallet now closed, those projects could go without funds. Ed Lavandera has more on how local businesses are feeling the pinch.
1721.
John Ho struck gold 2 years ago when he opened Boo Ray's Burrito Restaurant in the shadows of Enron's headquarters. But the lunch rush only trickles in these days. You can tell by the number of cups you have left here that how much your business has been affected?
Every day the finish.
Since Enron cratered, John Ho has lost 50% of his business. Customers have disappeared. So all these tables should be filled.
Full, I got people in a line.
And there should be a line out the door.
Yeah, every day.
And instead you've got a lot of empty tables.
Empty table and no people in a line.
It's the same throughout the neighborhood, but nearby businesses aren't the only ones feeling the pinch. Charities throughout Houston are looking to fill the void left by the millions of dollars Enron donates. The company gave $1.4 million to the Fine Arts Museum, more than $5 million to United Way, and $5.6 million to a cancer research center. But most people now talk about Enron in the past tense.
Enron certainly raised the bar when it came to philanthropy in the community as well as volunteerism. That was a corporation that people looked at and said, that's really what a corporate citizen should do.
Enron's real role in the city was not the amount of money, it was the leadership and the attitude that went with it.
Enron's collapse has affected Houston life in many ways. One small anecdote illustrates that point. Now that 4,000 people are no longer working in downtown Houston, some say traffic is flowing smoother than ever. Enron's signature is stamped on Houston's baseball stadium. The company agreed to a naming rights deal worth $100 million. Officials say Enron is up on its payments, but if it doesn't keep paying, the stadium could be looking for a new sponsor.
One name here?
John Ho's only mission is to save the family restaurant name, and he hopes the smile on his face will help him sell more burritos. Ed Lavandera, CNN, Houston.
President Bush ended his international trade campaign in New Orleans today. He finished up the three-state tour in the port city. The president says agriculture, oil, and other exports moving from the Midwest down the Mississippi River will help America's economy. He is also using the trip to lobby support from Democrats for his proposed tax cut package. His trip began at a John Deere factory in Illinois and a feed distribution center in Missouri yesterday.
Well, coming up, an energy drink mixed with vodka on Indiana campuses is raising health concerns.
Plus, an Indiana mother is accused of putting her 6-year-old daughter's body in a dumpster. Find out more when NewsCenter at 9:30 returns. A popular energy drink called Red Bull is creating concern in Indiana and as far away as Sweden. Authorities in Sweden issued a caution about Red Bull after reports surfaced about 2 people dying from mixing it with vodka. According to Dee Owens, director of IU's Office of Alcohol and Drug Information Center, that mixture is apparently being used by some Indiana University students. A student passed out last week who apparently drank 2 cans of Red Bull and 4 shots of vodka. 3 different Ball State bars in the village currently serve the Red Bull and vodka drink. Red Bull is loaded with caffeine and sugar. You can find out more about Indiana University and the Red Bull and Vodka Mix in tomorrow's edition of the Ball State Daily News. Also, read more about the State of the State address. Plus, Worthen Arena is celebrating its 10-year anniversary. These stories and more in tomorrow's edition of the Ball State Daily News.
An Indiana woman is being accused of putting her 6-year-old daughter's body in the trash. Christina Suttle's body has not been found, but investigators say it is likely in a landfill where trash from Fort Wayne is dumped. They are planning to search the landfill. Court documents show Christina, who had cerebral palsy, died last December at her mother's apartment. Her 22-year-old mother, Kenitra Suttle, says she did not alert authorities about the death of her daughter because she was afraid she'd be blamed.
The health department is developing a statewide immunization registry in Indiana. Health Commissioner Greg Wilson says the state will use the web-based immunization records. It will be tested at 7 sites in Indiana this year. Wilson says the registry will increase the accuracy and accessibility of immunization information. He expects the registry to work in favor of youngsters by increasing the number of children who are vaccinated.
The murder suspect in a multiple murder case will be extradited to Oregon to face charges of killing his wife and 3 children. Christian Longo was captured over the weekend in Mexico and signed a document today in Houston agreeing to the extradition. Longo was one of America's most wanted lists. The bodies of his wife and their 3 children were found in shallow water on Oregon's coast. Longo's parents currently reside in Indianapolis. And a Vermont teenager is scheduled to be arraigned in New Hampshire tomorrow on 2 murder indictments in the deaths of 2 Dartmouth College professors. 18-year-old Robert Tulloch of Chelsea, Vermont, will be arraigned in Superior Court. Prosecutors say Hoff and Suzanne Zantop were stabbed to death by Tulloch and his best friend, 17-year-old James Parker, last January. The teens were arrested last February when they were found at a truck stop near Newcastle in eastern Indiana. Parker has pleaded guilty in the death of Suzanne Zantop and agreed to testify against Tulloch, who plans to plead insanity. Tulloch faces 2 indictments, one charging he purposely murdered, the other that he knowingly murdered during a robbery. And Nicholas is back once again.
Please tell me it's going to be warm when you have the weather coming up next.
A little bit of flurries today in the air, I saw.
I wish I could tell you it was getting warmer, but unfortunately, our viewers out there might need to be pulling out their snow shovels tonight. Find out when that snow might hit, coming up next in your full forecast. Good evening, everyone. Opening up our weather almanac for tonight, January 15th, 2002. We see our high today back to normal from yesterday's 50. We saw 34 degrees today. Our low above our normal at 30 degrees. The sun rose at 8:02 and set at 5:40 tonight. The highs today across the state of Indiana, 30s over most of the state, 33 up in South Bend, 36 Lafayette, 39 Indianapolis, Evansville, a warm 45 degrees. Currently outside, overcast skies, temperature is at the freezing point, and humidity is at 74%. In our satellite picture, you can see the jet stream here just pushing down that Arctic air and bringing it all the way over to us here in Indiana. And also, notice the cloud cover on the East Coast. Let's look at our radar picture where you can see that snow that is falling over across upstate New York. It's falling most heavily in Maine, though. And what we want to look at here is this system, this snow that's developing across this area. This is what could push into our area tomorrow and bring that snow-rain mix. Currently at our radar picture, nothing across the state of Indiana or the surrounding areas. But, as I said, that might change as the night rolls on. For tonight, you see this cold system, cold front moving in, bringing that snow into Illinois and parts of Indiana. Our lows tonight, 20s here in Indiana. Our friends up in the northern United States, freezing tonight in the single digits. For tonight, cloudy skies, a low of 26 degrees. For tomorrow morning, as we're all walking out the door, mostly cloudy skies, not too bad, 31 degrees. And moving on to tomorrow's picture, here's that snow. As you see, it's going to cut right in between us and Indianapolis, and depending on what the temperatures are tomorrow, that precipitation is either going to come down in rain or as snow. and we will be watching that, so tune into NewsCenter tomorrow. Tomorrow, our highs in the area, the mid-30s. We'll see about 37 degrees. 36, how do you like that? Scattered showers and flurries, winds will be southwest at 14 miles per hour. And in our 3-day outlook, we're staying around our normal. Thursday, 34. Friday, 32 degrees. Saturday, 34. Not too bad. We're not seeing the snow continue, so that's good. We don't want to get too much all at once because we've certainly been spoiled.
I don't like the snow, but the one good thing about snow is I can make snow angels. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to. I want to make the snow angels in the snow.
I would rather be spoiled. I'll take the clean streets, and I don't mind it in the yard. So the last time it snowed, it was fine because it was gone pretty fast. So that's the kind of snow I like, just to see it and then it can go.
All right, well, thanks, Nicholas. And Andrea Bernatz joins us now with a look at sports.
I am in the hot seat tonight, and guess what? Ball State men's basketball, they are also in the hot seat. They are going to be playing an awesome game. I'll have all the details coming up. Sports is next. After the Ball State men play the nation's top-ranked team the first week of the season, you're probably thinking there's no game that could be bigger. But oh, how wrong you are. Tomorrow night's matchup against Bowling Green exceeds the Duke contest in every way and could possibly make or break the Cards' hope for a MAC title and just might help them regain some national attention. Consider the following. Bowling Green is on a 12-game winning streak. They're off to their best start since 1944 when they started 19-1. And oh yeah, they're first place in the MAC East with a 3-0 mark. But they've struggled against conference opponents so far, most recently against Central Michigan. And if you remember, the Cards beat Central last week at Worthen thanks to 24 points from Chris Williams. The Cards have picked themselves up since losing to Kent, winning their last 3 in a row, including their last 2 at home to climb to the top of the MAC West Division. Tip-off is at 7 tomorrow night, and we'll be there live from the arena for both our 5:30 and 9:30 newscasts. So make sure and say hi to our cameraman and sports anchor, Tom Kozrowski. And while the men have their hands full at home tomorrow night, the women's basketball team will not have it much easier at Ohio. The Lady Cards travel next door to take on the Bobcats in what proves to be another matchup that could set the conference tone for either team. The Cards are 10-4 overall this year, but have not fared well in MAC play, most recently blowing an 11-point lead in the second half at Northern Illinois last Saturday to fall to 2-1 in the West. The Cats have seen a similar fate, however, dropping their last MAC contest at home to a surprising Miami team this past weekend. The Cards have won 4 of their last 5 on the road, which is always a good thing when you're not playing at home. Tip-off is set for 7 o'clock. And the men's volleyball team opened its 2002 season with a pair of wins last weekend in Muncie. The Cards rolled past Concordia last Friday night and pounced over the 5th-ranked Long Beach on Saturday. This week, the Cardinals will continue at home by hosting Rutgers Newark at 7 p.m. on Tuesday. They'll return to action on Saturday with a 2 p.m. match against Lindenwood. And after spending 6 years transforming the Tampa Bay Buccaneers into championship contenders, Bucs head coach Tony Dungy was let go Monday night. Now it looks like he is the likely candidate to take over the Colts in Indianapolis. ESPN says even though he's looking at the Carolina Panthers, the move to Indy would make more sense. The Bucs went 54-42 and went to the playoffs 4 times under Dungy's reign, which led many people to believe Dungy didn't deserve the boot. However, in those 4 playoff appearances, the Bucs managed just 6 total points.
As a boss, you have to make decisions. I've had to make decisions, and I've made them and done what I think has been best for the team. And my boss has made a decision what he thinks is best for the team, and that's what you go by. You know, everybody, we're trying to get to a Super Bowl, and you do what you think is best to reach that goal.
After not so impressive showing on the free agent market, Barry Bonds will stay in the city by the Bay, for a price, of course. The winning bid, a 5-year deal worth their sweet $90 million, But the deal could be shaved to just 4 years and $72 million if Bonds doesn't total 500 plate appearances by the end of the 2006 season. The deal also includes a 10-year personal services contract, so Barry will be sure to have all the luxuries of a struggling retiree after his playing days are over. And Nike has come out with a new Swift skin suit for speed skaters for the Olympics in Utah. It was unveiled this past weekend at the Utah Oval. The Americans will be sporting the new suit along with 2 other teams. And wow, what can I say? The Olympics coming up, I'm getting kind of excited about that. I was seeing those new outfits and all the new technology. It's amazing.
That speed suit looks kind of interesting. I'm interested to see that.
I'm not sure I could put that on.
Hopefully it'll work and we'll go fast.
But maybe for the $72 million that Bonds is getting, I'd put it on.
There you go.
All right, thanks, Andrea. When NewsCenter at 9:30 returns, Nicholas Ferrari will have a look at your wake-up weather.
Stay with us.
Taking one last look at our weather for tonight, mostly cloudy skies, a high of 26 degrees. For tomorrow morning, mostly cloudy, a high of 31. And for tomorrow, scattered showers and flurries as the day moves on, a high of 36 degrees. In our 3-day outlook, temperatures continue in the 30s, 33 Thursday, up to 35 by Saturday. That's as warm as we'll get.
All right, excited about making those snow angels, I guess. Thanks for joining us for NewsCenter at 9:30. I'm Melissa Cordial.
And I'm John Ratliff. NewsCenter 43 is an official CNN student bureau. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for NewsCenter at 5:30.